Podcasting 101 with me, your host, Rachel. This podcast is for female business owners and solopreneurs that are looking to start a podcast that adds to your own already awesome offering. I'll give you helpful advice that you can take away and use in your podcasting journey. I hope to answer those tricky questions that just keep you from starting. Once a month, I'll be joined by other female podcasters. They'll share their journey with you and offer tips and advice they discovered along the way. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode. Today, I have Sabine Schwartz with me. Hi, Sabine.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you on. Sabine is a sales and confidence mindset coach. She helps female entrepreneurs become more confident in their sales skills, release all the blocks around sales, outreach money and human connections so that they have a bigger income and impact at the speed of light. That sounds so interesting, Sabine. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and then why you wanted to start your podcast?
Yeah, sure. I'm Sabine. I'm in Germany, in Berlin, and I'm a mom of three very, very active boys in the age of 8, 11, and 12. And I'm since long time in business. I started as a health coach 11 years ago. And then I completely switched over my whole business and changed direction and became a business coach and a hypnotherapist and RTT practitioner, which is a really quick form of hypnosis to overcome all limiting beliefs, procrastination, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, and it's just wonderful. And that's why I call it always speed of light, because it's just really, really quick. You don't have to wait weeks until you feel better and more confident. It's often after 1 to 3 sessions, you will feel already a push in direction of anything you desire, like confidence, public speaking, visibility, being able to get in front of the camera. And I just love this combination. And this is why I started my podcast as well, because I wanted to have a platform which can reach many people and where I can just talk about my passion and share all my knowledge about how to work with your mind, how to heal different things from your past, trauma from the past, how to release anxiety, how to become a better entrepreneur, feeling fully aligned and purposeful and just love your business again. Because I know how hard it is if you question yourself all the time, if you feel overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, afraid of reaching out to new people or get into public speaking or even sales. I mean, sales conversations can be really, really hard. And this is what I love to talk in my podcast about, like really how you can become the best version of yourself and how to truly master your mindset and how to achieve everything you desire in a quicker way.
When you have those mindset blocks, it is so difficult to overcome them sometimes, and the feeling that perhaps it might take a really, really long time, and often in business you don't really want to wait that long to be able to overcome some of those things, especially with sales. I've had that myself, and imposter syndrome. They are really big things, especially with online entrepreneurs at the moment, those kind of blocks that we have to get over those things. RTT sounds really interesting. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about that, about RTT and what it is?
Yeah. RTT is rapid transformational therapy, and the short form is RTT. And it got invented by Marissa Peer. And talking about quick results, it's because she was a therapist before. And she said, when you're a therapist, it takes sometimes really long for your clients to feel better. And I mean, I have got friends who have depression, for example, and they're since 5 years in therapy and still don't feel so much better. It's just like crazy sometimes. And Marissa Peer said, okay, when your arm is broken, for example, you don't want to wait 1 year until it heals or until it gets better. And the same as with pain in your soul. I mean, you can't see it, but it's there, and it's really, really terrible for so many people. And so she said, okay, she wants to invent something which works a bit quicker so that you can heal in a quicker time and don't have to suffer for years and years and years. And this is how she came up with this relatively new therapy form, which is a combination of therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, hypnosis, and NLP. And this is just a wonderful form. It's just that I'm getting my clients into hypnosis and they're staying in my session the whole time in hypnosis. And I'm getting them to the root cause of their problem. And then we uncover it and they can see in hypnosis so clearly everything from the past. And they can go back so many years back to when they were small children or babies. And then we uncover what happened, what created this problem, what created the block, for example. And then we release it and get it out of their mind so that you can, it's like a gardener, for example. It's just getting out all the weeds. And then we plant new seeds for beautiful blossoms to flowers to bloom. And this is the planting the seeds is in the session, the rewiring of their mind, like really installing better beliefs, better feelings, better thoughts. Because in the end, we all become what we believe. And when we believe we are so bad at selling, we can't sell. We have problems to talk to other people. We can't talk in a compelling way so that the people see the value of our products. And sales are really hard and terrible and it's sleazy and what you all hear about sales. Sales are connected to so many things. This is just not a small single thing. Sales are such a big area connected with many, many bad feelings and fears and anxiety. And this is what I'm doing in my session, that I just plant in better beliefs about sales, about themselves, and so that they just feel instantly so much better, so much more confident, and they believe that they are sales leaders, for example, and that they're master sellers. And this is how a session will look like. And this is the power of rapid transformational therapy.
It sounds really interesting. I can tell you're really passionate about it, just the way you're talking about it, which is so great. Obviously, passion is a big part of running your own and owning your own business and getting the best out of, and also starting your podcast as well. So tell us a little bit more about, so you had the idea about doing the podcast to share your passion and to help people.
Yeah.
How did you go about starting the planning side of things?
Yeah, I love planning and I have so many planners here in the backside of me. And I have, for example, for when I start with my podcast planning process, I have a look at half a year and think about my content categories, which I want to fill up. And I'm always connecting them back to my program. I've got a signature program, which is called the Sales Alchemy Academy, where it's a 6-month program where I guide my clients through to feel better in selling and more confident in the visibility aspects as well, and so many different parts. And I'm looking at my modules, for example, and then I break them up for the half year. And I'm planning my content around these content buckets of my modules of my group coaching program. And so that every piece of content I'm putting out there links back to this program. And this is what I truly love to do. And what I suggest to everybody doing it, just see about what kind of products you're having and how can you talk about it and how can you connect your podcast to teach the people about it, about your program. And then I am doing 1 week, I am doing a one-person show, like only me, where I'm talking about my stuff. And the second week, it's like bi-weekly. So every week, once a week I am on, and the next week I have a guest. I'm just reaching out to the people who really match my subject. And before I had a Facebook group where I had a show inside as well. And I didn't plan anything there. When I started, I wasn't so big in planning. The planning part came the last years. Because I saw how difficult it is if you just don't plan, if you just do a post, hey, people, I'm looking for somebody to interview, like I did it before in my Facebook group, and then random people just came in there and I just checked their profiles, for example, and then I picked them, but I didn't have a theme before, which was a really big problem. And so I can only suggest really look for the right people, look for your own theme, which really supports your business, because the podcast needs to support your business as well. And it needs to have a specific theme. And so it's really important to really handpick your guests and see what kind of value they can provide so that it matches your brand. And this is what I'm doing. And this is the first step, that I just plan out half a year in advance. And then I have, for each session, I have like a sheet where I have my hook, my steps, which I'm going through. And it's just like one pager where I put everything in there in little bullet points, and my call to action in the end as well. It's like a video script as well, because I really love video, and I'm using the same script for my audio podcast. But I have the podcast always in a video form as well. I have like a video podcast.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask whether or not you had you did video as well. So do you put the video onto YouTube and then have your podcast go out on the rest of the platforms?
Yeah, I have my podcast on YouTube, and I have a 9-minute video of this podcast on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. How do you find that? Does that work well with, do you get a lot of engagement on those type of posts? Having like, do you just kind of like pick 9-minute section out of the episode to put out there?
Yeah, and what I have to say, before I just put the 9-minute video in my scheduling tool, and it got just scheduled to LinkedIn. And now, since I am really working more on LinkedIn and getting to know it better, I heard that LinkedIn doesn't like third-party tools, and that they will gate them a little bit so that you don't get so much engagement. And that was my problem. I didn't get much engagement on LinkedIn on my video posts and on my posts in general. And now I got off my scheduling tool, even if I really, really love it, because it's just such a time saver. But now I'm doing it manually and just upload. And then I'm engaging on LinkedIn at the same time when I'm uploading it. And when I'm doing it that way, I'm getting more engagement. And this is what I am working on right now. And I need to have more connections on LinkedIn, because I'm quite new. I'm still under 500. I have 450 or something like that. And when I'm getting more and more, I will get more engagement on my videos. And I will keep up the strategy because I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, that's interesting that you don't get as much engagement if you use a scheduler. I know that I was talking, Michelle Denayo, there was a post that Michelle had done it was a couple of weeks ago now, and talking about video engagement, somebody she's connected to, and it is quite small. It's smaller than regular posts, but it means that the person, they'll give you the stats on how long they've watched it for, which is quite interesting. So some of the videos don't do, you think they don't do very well, but actually like the ratio of it is quite, I can't figure out. Maybe I had to try and find the post and link it in the show notes. But that was quite interesting, because I put my audiograms on there as videos on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I do use a scheduler as well. So I should do a little testing, actually. That's quite a good thing to do, actually, when you're doing your promotion, is to test out different types of posts and see how well they do. And that's an interesting one about schedulers. I know at one point you couldn't actually schedule a video that would appear actually on LinkedIn. I use Buffer, and they do now, but originally it would take you to a different link if someone clicked on it. So, but you're right that they don't like, and they don't like you sharing links in the posts either, and things like that, because they want you to stay on the platform, don't they? Which is understandable, but it makes it difficult when you're trying to be organized and get everything scheduled and put your links in there. So
it takes those little time. Like really. And what I'm doing now is that I just post it. And then I reach out to like 10 people where I think, okay, for them it would be interesting. And then I send them a message, you really like to check out my video I did about this and this. And and when I'm doing it this way, I'm getting more engagement. But it takes time.
Yeah, it does. It does take time, because it takes time to build up those connections. And you really want to have genuine connections and just have people that are going to be interested in your content, and you're going to add value for them. And otherwise, you don't want a lot of people that, aren't really going to engage.
You don't want to spam just random people.
Exactly.
That's like really, this is what I love to do on LinkedIn. It's just like really creating conversations and connections and relationships. And don't just request a connection and then just send a pitch. Like I really get this, and so I just build connections, and this is really the way to go, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's to help build your audience for your podcast, like getting back to people as well, and creating that. It's about creating a two-way engagement, isn't it, as well? Not having it all one way. Like,
you can't just take and never give. I think it's really often you need to give back as well, and just be the person who always takes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you were very organized in your planning and really thought about what episodes are going to benefit your audience, which I think is a really great way to get started. Did you have any particular podcast goals in mind when you started?
Yeah, I want to, with the podcast, I want to build like genuine relationships, and I want to build myself up as an authority in my field, and to have, I wasn't sure about the number of downloads I want to have, because in the beginning I wasn't so sure about what are great numbers to have as downloads, for example. But it's just like I just want to have my podcast reach as many people as possible, and use it as a tool to as well engage, build relationships, reach out to new people, and to have something where I can say, like a conversation starter, for example. If you have a person who you truly love to connect with, where you think, okay, this person is a little bit more far ahead than me, for example, and I would love them to get to know me, for example, this is how I'm using my podcast as well, to use it as a tool to give value for this person as well. If they're on my podcast, they're getting a value as well. And perhaps they want to invite me later back to their podcast as well, because this is for me like a great visibility tool as well, to get in front of other audiences. Because I mean, when you're starting a new field, or like me, for example, I shifted my niche and I need to build up my authority in my niche. And when I don't have myself a big audience in the beginning, it's great to get in front of other audiences. And there's a podcast great to have, because you have always something where you can invite people to, and they will perhaps later invite you as well. It's like giving and receiving. And for this, a podcast is just amazing. And it's a content library as well. And even for myself, I want to put in there meditations from myself, and then I can just go in there and listen to my own meditations because it's really, I just love it when you're laying in bed in the night, for example. And I mean, everybody knows how it is. Sometimes in the night, I mean, it's like your nervous system slows down, and then comes the bad thoughts, for example, which keep you up at night, where you get anxiety, or think, oh my gosh, how can I pay these bills? Or what's up with the kids in school, or with your business, or the taxes, or you still haven't done the taxes and you need to do them. Like, you know it, like your mind just starts swirling around and you get all the crazy ideas and anxiety comes up and you can't sleep again. And what I truly love then is just listen to a meditation. And this is where a podcast for me is great, because this is my goal. I want to add in more hypnosis from myself and meditations, which I can just listen to. When I can't sleep, I can listen to my meditations, and other people as well. So because meditations are just amazing to help you feel instantly better and to sleep better. And even my kids are listening to my meditations. And then it's great that they can just tune into my podcast and listen to a meditation from me, where they have like an easy find library where I can just click and listen to it.
Yeah, that sounds weird. I listen to meditations at night as well. One thing I'm always worried about is the kids at school, and they have their own little stresses, and mine are 10 and 12, and they're in middle school, because we've got 3-tier where I am, and you know, all those problems that preteens get. And I use the Headspace app at the moment, but
that's great.
they quite like having something to calm them down, because there is always that time when in the night when you're thinking about things and you just want to help clear your mind. That sounds really great. And you're thinking, you know, more about your ideal audience and your target audience, and thinking about what would be great for them as well. I think adding in a meditation would be really nice. And what you said about it being a content library, repurposing and using your content that you've created is such a great thing for your podcast as well. And it's easy to forget as well. Hannah and Nicole, my clients from Showing Up Solo, are brilliant at this. I sometimes am guilty of forgetting to do this myself. When you've started to get a few episodes behind you, I'm in my 20s episodes now, and it's almost like, oh, they're done and gone. But you can actually use what you've done previously because there's still valid. There's still new people joining, hopefully, listening at different stages. And it is great to have that content library to be able to repurpose and show not just what you're doing now or what you're focusing on now, is pointing them in the direction of, have you heard this? And did you know that I've done, that this could help you as well?
This is amazing.
So,
I truly love repurposing. Is really the best what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such in all parts for your marketing, it seems, because you've already created the content, and I think sometimes feel like you've got to keep creating new content, but you're creating it by doing a podcast episode. That is your piece of content. And like what I do with this podcast is, look back and think about the things we've talked about and expand upon them. And that's why I love having guests come on like yourself and all my other guests, and offering your insight into your podcasting journey, because it teaches me new things. Everyone has a slightly different take on things, and it's really great to bring out the different, although there is a consistent, people with like tips on podcasting is just start. Quite a consistent one, but it's really interesting. I did interview someone the other week that's like a really established podcaster, so it was quite interesting to hear from someone who's been doing it for a long time, like longer than me, and quite interesting. I love getting those different perspectives on
that's always interesting
stories.
That's what I love as well about different guests on the podcast, that you just get different experiences, different insights, and it's just always so interesting.
It is. And I think that when you get those guests in there and sharing stories, and I love that it's people that you meet them on social media or networking. I find some of the podcasts that have like big celebrities on and things, but that's great. It's great to hear stories from them, but I find it more relatable hearing stories from people who are your peers, people that you can really relate to. Like I'm sure the guests that are coming onto your show, they're complementing what you're helping people with, and they themselves are then relatable to your audience because they're there complementing what you do. And that's, I think, more valuable than having a big name, trying to get a big name on.
I think so as well. Yeah, and from the big names, I find it always most interesting how they were living when they just started. Because now when they are so far ahead and they have big teams, you can't get so much value out of them anymore because they're in a complete different liga or league. And just for the normal business, the normal entrepreneur, it's just so much better if you just have people who are on the same stage like them or just some steps ahead where they can just learn and take some ideas for their own business or their own life.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree there. So how did you feel about the tech side of things when it came to recording and uploading and all those things?
Honestly, before I started, this was the main thing which kept me away because I thought, it's so difficult to do it. The tech should be so difficult, or I thought it's difficult, and I had no idea how to record and how to start. Even if I have done before like meditations and hypnosis and recordings, I wasn't sure how to upload it and how to get my podcast to Spotify and Apple and wherever. And this always kept me away. And I thought it's so time consuming and I need to have better audio. And I was always struggling with my audio quality. And even if I got a good mic, but my room is where I'm sitting in and recording is, I always thought it's just not such a good audio quality in here because I need to have perhaps more cushions or something in, which creates a better sound.
Mm-hmm.
And this always kept me away. And then I just said, okay, just start. I just make it simple and easy. And I don't complicate everything. I just sit down, think about I have everything pre-planned already. And then I just start talking. And then I don't over edit. I edit a little bit. I created my own intro. And before I thought, okay, I will need to have a really great intro. I will find somebody on Fiverr or Upwork, and they will do it. And then for me, it's, for example, when I'm paying someone to do it, I want to really have it perfect. And I can't just go for this intro, for example, to pay like $20, because then I think, oh no, it's not so good. I need this one for $200. And then I think, oh my gosh, it's such an investment when I'm just starting out. How crazy. And this is how I've done so many mistakes before, because I'm since 11 years in business. And I always paid way too much and want to have everything perfect. And then after some months, I trash everything and create everything new again. And so I thought, okay, no, I start my podcast. I'm just doing my intro. I do it messy and not perfect. And I do it myself. And this is how I just started. I mean, later when my podcast really takes off or something like that, I can pay more to have a perfect intro. But right now I just have myself. And this is how I want to do it now, that I really work on myself and my perfectionitis and just do it when I'm sitting there. I'm just doing it. Just start without complicating everything and overthinking. And like this, it's really an easy and wonderful process. I don't edit too much, just a little bit. And then I just upload it directly to Anchor. I'm using Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free tool. I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners who don't know it. And it's so easy. You can just stream it into Spotify and all the other places. They're connected to all the other platforms as well. And it's really easy and just wonderful.
Yeah, I for my first podcast, I did mine on Anchor. My client uses Anchor. I have chosen Captivate for this podcast, but I wanted to look at a paid service, kind of for research for myself as well, and potentially for the future. So that's why I decided to do a paid platform. But I there's a lot of people that do have a lot of problems with Anchor, but I'm not quite sure. Did you know that you could upload video now to Anchor?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can. So if you upload the video, it will play on Spotify as video or audio, but it will still send the audio to the other places that you've connected it to. So they're starting trying to get like a video platform on Spotify, which is quite interesting, which is what I do.
On Spotify, they're doing a video platform.
Yeah, so it would, but because Anchor's part of Spotify, when you upload you just upload the MP4 to Anchor. Yeah. So that's what they're kind of, I don't know whether they're trialing it at the moment. So you can watch the video if you want to.
Check it out.
Yeah, so people can watch a video on the Spotify platform without having to go to YouTube. I think that's what they're kind of trying to do.
Okay.
So, what do you feel was your biggest challenge in starting your podcast, or as you're going forward now? Like, what's your biggest challenge?
Yeah, my biggest challenge is the consistency with it, and and this was like when I started my podcast, the mistake I made was that I didn't upload it consistently. And and now I got into myself the last weeks and worked on myself a little bit because I had the problem that I just wanted to do way too much, not only with my podcast, but with so many other social media platforms. I always had the feeling I need to be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, then the podcast, and Pinterest and everywhere. And I just stretched myself way too thin. And I got really overwhelmed and didn't want to do anything anymore. And then I thought, that's not the way to go. I need to really take an inventory in myself and how I'm doing everything. And that I not have the feeling I need to do 4 master classes per month, for example. Why can't I just do one and do it really, really well? And why can't I just be on one social media platform and do it really well? And so I took some major steps. I closed my Facebook group down. I got off Facebook, off Instagram. I'm now only on LinkedIn. And I feel amazing when I'm doing this right now. It's just a really great step. And I feel so much better. And since I did it, I can focus again on my podcast and keep up with my schedule. And really long story. Sorry about it.
No, do you know there is a lot of pressure to feel like you have to go on lots of different platforms, and are you missing out if you don't go on the other platforms? But you're right. If you can't keep up with it, you're spreading yourself too thin. Like I'm really interested about Pinterest. I'm hearing a lot of things about Pinterest, but I just don't have the headspace and the capacity to really invest myself in Pinterest at the moment. So I think that you're taking the platform that works the best for you, whatever that is for you, LinkedIn, and then concentrate everything for that. And that way, you know, that you can be consistent and, keeping, and that's really great to recognize that that's what you need to do to be able to be consistent. And I think that it's different for everybody. And I think that's important for the listeners here, that if you're starting a podcast or you're in a podcast now that you're struggling to be consistent with, looking at all those different aspects of what you're doing in your business or what you're doing to promote it, and what could you tweak or change. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing and be everywhere all at once, kind of thing. So
that's the biggest mistake you can do for your health, for your relationship, for yourself, and for your business. Because I got really honest with myself and thought, why I have the feeling I need to do always way too much. Really, I'm a person, I'm doing always way too much. And this creates problems in the end, because you just can't be superwoman and do everything. And some it's on cost of something. It's like everything you're doing costs something in the end. It costs your health, relationships, your well-being, so many different things. And so it's important to really see what brings you in the most joy and what you're doing in your business, your activities, for example. What's eating up your time, and what brings in the most revenue, and what brings in the most. And when I got really honest with myself, I said, okay, Facebook doesn't bring me in any money, Instagram as well. It just is a big time eater. And on Instagram now with Reels, stories, Instagram lives, you have to do so much to gain more followers. And then I think, okay, but these followers don't bring me any money. It's just stressing me. It's just time consuming. And then I just said, okay, no, I just focus on LinkedIn and on my podcast, and I'm doing great episodes. I will do them consistently. I will repurpose them. I will use them to build my authority on LinkedIn as well, and do outreach and building relationships. And this is really where all the money comes from in my business, is from relationships, from networking, from reaching out to people, building connections, and starting conversations.
Yeah.
It's not from Instagram. It's not from Facebook. And this is like really this. When you talk about it, so of course it's like that. It's so simple and easy. Why can't you just say, okay, I get my money from other areas, and then just close Facebook and Instagram down? But it was like a many month process for me. I just couldn't get myself over it to just say, okay, goodbye Instagram, goodbye Facebook. I'm now on LinkedIn. It was really hard.
It's been great talking to you today, Sabine. Yeah. Have you got any last piece of advice for those looking to start a podcast?
Yeah, my advice: just start it and just do it. It doesn't need to be perfect, and just start recording an audio. Just today, just get on your computer, open up or your phone, and do a voice recording and see how it goes, and just start it. It's so easy and simple. You don't need to overcomplicate everything. And just start, and then you can start your planning phase and really have an eye on your next month of content, be strategic about it, and get the right guests into your podcast, or do a solo podcast and just start it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not overthinking it. That is a great piece of advice. Would you just like to let us know where the best place is to find you apart from LinkedIn? So I guess LinkedIn's the best place to find you. What's your website?
Yeah, my website is Sabine Schwartz, like my name, .com. And there you can find me, and you can connect with me there. I have a coffee chat booking form. My email address is there. And if you've got any questions, you can always reach me there.
Brilliant. I'll link all those in the show notes so they can easily find you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for coming on, Sabine. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, share and subscribe. Your support means so much to me. If there's a question or topic you'd like covering, then I'd love to hear from you. Find the podcast on Instagram @RachelBotfield and drop me a DM. Till next time, bye.